Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Let's get started. So today I've got a often requested video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys what I've settled on for my Novation Launch Control XL templates for the Teenage Engineering OPZ. Using the Launch Control XL as a MIDI controller for the OPZ, I'm going to have all of these templates available for download down in the description. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button. But yeah, all for free. You can download all 8 of my user templates. So if you have the Launch Control XL and an OPZ, you can control it just like I do. Feel free to make edits to my templates and re-upload them and let me know if you can make them better. This is still very new to me, so this is just kind of what I came up with. So, last time we looked at this setup, I showed off this cable, but I'll show you guys again here, if the camera will focus. There we go. This is a USB Type-C, and then this end is a USB Type-B, or a printer cable, as you might know it. So, we plug this into the OPZ, and then we untangle the other end of this off the desk, and plug it into the, got to make sure we plug it in the right way. Into the launch control. Launch control boots up. And now on the user side of things, I have 8 different templates to walk you guys through. I have some notes off screen here on my laptop. So let's talk about templates 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So each one of these templates is going to correspond to one of the 8 tracks on the OPZ, except for the sample track, just because I don't use that one as often. So I skipped it in lieu of a performance track, which again we'll talk about in just a minute. So of the 7 templates we're going to talk about right now, we've got Template 1 is the kick, Template 2 is snare, 3 is hi-hat, 5 is bass, 6 is lead, 7 is arpeggio, 8 is chord. It pretty much just follows right here with skipping number 4, the sample track. Template number 4 on this is a performance template, as I like to call it. But anyway, let's talk about tracks 1 through 3 and then 5 through 8. So 1 through 3 are our 3 percussion tracks here. So we'll go to number 1. These first 4 knobs correspond to these 4 knobs right here. So pitch, and this one will change the sample to play in reverse if we want it to. This one right here is our filter, cutoff, and this one's the resonance. Now these next 4 knobs here correspond to page 2. So it's our attack, decay, sustain, and release. Pretty simple. These knobs here, you guessed it, correspond to page 3, the LFO settings, and page 4 is represented by these knobs here. Now this does control volume, which is, the 4th parameter of page 4. But really quick, let's skip down to these faders here, because each fader, no matter what template you're on, controls tracks 1 through 8, or the tracks that make sound. So this is always going to control our kick. This will always control the snare, hi-hat, sample track, bass, lead, arpeggio, and chord. So you always have full control over those, which is really nice, and I use that all the time. It's amazing to be able to mix on the fly with the OPZ. But yeah, so those are the first 16 knobs, and those are the same for the snare track. So if we go to the snare track here, pitch, ADS, or page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Same thing for hi-hat. And that moves over to the synth tracks as well. So let's go to template 5, which is the bass. So let's pull that up on here as well. So this becomes parameter A, parameter B, filter, cutoff, resonance, ADSR envelopes right there, LFO, and page 4, which is effect A, B, and pan and volume. So yeah, so that's the same for the lead track, the arp track, and the chord track. Let's send it back to the kick track though, and we'll go over these bottom 8 here. So to talk about the next 8 knobs and the performance track as well, we're going to make a little pattern here. So let's go ahead and just put like a 4 on the floor bass drum, some offbeat hi-hat. I'm so bad at offbeat hi-hat. Dang it. There we go. And snare drum. quantize that because it was probably terrible. Let's play a bass line. Make it 2 measures long. 3, 4. There we go. Some chords. I don't even know what I want. Where's that organ? Yeah, we'll just do something like that. 3, 4. That's obnoxious. So I can mute the chords right there, as you see. Bring the bass down. Let's just stop that pattern. So now we have a pattern going. So let's talk about these bottom 8 knobs across all the non-performance tracks. So the first 2 knobs here are actually the tape track, the speed, the overall speed, and then the fine-tuned speed of the tape track. And they correspond with this button right here, the first pad, and the first pad only is the first, I believe it's this F right here of the tape track. So if we set this to 1, and then when we're holding that, so it's repeating the tape track, this knob here, this one's the fine tune. So that's what those 2 do. That's the same across any of these. Any of our 8 patterns. Back to the first one though, just to demonstrate. So that can be really handy for some on-the-fly tape track tweaks. Now the next 2 knobs here, these are the effect parameter A for effect 1 and effect 2. So if we go to effect 1 and turn this, we can see that the first light increases and decreases in intensity there. Hopefully that comes across on camera. And then if we go to effect 2, we have it right here as well. So we can just change the master effect tracks on the fly. Really nice with that. And then the next one over here, the next 4 I should say, these are all of the master track. So this is our chorus, our overall chorus control, overall, I believe it's overdrive control. And then we have the master track filter resonance and master track filter cutoff. So and again, that's the same across tracks 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, or kick, snare, hi-hat, bass, lead, arpeggio, and chord. So yeah, that's a summary of all the knobs. Let's talk about down here really quick. So on these 4, I've just got some of my favorite drum samples on each track. So you can... And these are almost always the same. There's a couple different sounds depending on what template you're in, but I wanted the ability to be able to play something live, drum-wise, so that's really cool. I like being able to do that. Eventually, I'd like to put some more drums right here. Right now, these have nothing on them. But yeah, let's see here. Also, we have some various punch-in effects right here. And these top 3 as well. So this one mutes the drums, this one mutes the synths, and the rest of them you're just going to have to play with and figure out because I forgot exactly what they are, but they're all various punch-in effects. This one, really good for fills. And yeah, that does it for the pads. These 2 right here, track forward and track select, backward and forward, change what pattern we're on. However, I do have to warn you, you have to press them incredibly light or it'll skip like 2 or 3 patterns ahead or behind. So you literally have to be like it's a very, very fine, fine press. I don't recommend using these for a actual live performance. Just change patterns the way you're used to with chaining on the OPZ. I might be missing something there. Maybe someone will correct me. Who knows? All right. So those are the settings for templates 1, 2, 3, again, 5, 6, 7, 8. let's talk about template number 4, the performance template, performance track as I call it, which is different than the performance track on the OPZ. This is just what I called it because I spend most of my time on a template 4 because that's where all the kind of the global settings are, I guess you could say. So the first 4 knobs, pitch, are percussion tracks. So I'm gonna mute the bass and the chords. So this is the pitch for the bass drum. This is the pitch for the snare drum. This is pitch for the hi-hat. This is the pitch for the sample track, which we're not using right now. But yep, you can control the pitch just on the fly, really nice. These next 4 knobs are the filter cutoff for each percussion track. Bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat, and the sample track. So if you do want to adjust the resonance of the filter, you do need to go to that individual track, and it should be this knob right here. So let's go to the snare drum track, turn up the resonance, back to the performance track, and then you can hear that is increased. So that's what these 4 knobs do. So pitch, filter, cutoff. Okay, so the next row. So these 4 knobs right here correspond to parameters for our synth tracks. So let's take our drums down. Let's play something with the arpeggio track. Boring, but that works. So the first one right here, this is going to be bass parameter A. So let's just solo the bass here. So that's the same as the white knob in the bass track, basically. Let's pull up our lead. This one right here is going to affect the attack of our lead. Allows you to play some kind of fun dynamic stuff on the fly. Get some cool swells if you want. This knob right here is going to be the release for the arpeggio track. So I'm going to bring up the arpeggio track here. Oh, that's the lead. There we go. So this right here is the release for the arpeggio track. So we got some cool stuff going on there. You can, make your arpeggios really staccato if you so choose. Let's see, moving on here. This is this is going to be parameter A for the chord track. So let's bring up the chord track. In this case, we're using the organ. So parameter A actually runs through the wavetable. Very cool. So that's handy to have there. These next 4 knobs here, just like the ones above them, these are the filter cutoffs for the synth tracks. So bass, lead, arpeggio, chord. So let's bring these up here. So as you see there, I was able to cut off the release of the filter of the arpeggio track while messing with the filter cutoff as well. Again, to mess with the resonance, we do need to go into the individual tracks, but that works pretty well right there. Okay, moving on, the last row here, these 4 knobs are effect send A for each of the percussion tracks. So kick, snare, hi-hat, and sample. So let's bring those up and listen. In this case, effect A is delay. And in the same vein, these 4 knobs here affect send B of all the synth tracks. So bass, lead, arpeggio, chord, which is reverb. And of course, these actually become whatever you have set to your effect A or effect B. I just have decay and reverb just because, or delay and reverb, sorry, just because that's what I use a lot. But lately I've been using the NTS one for effects anyway, so It doesn't super matter to me, but yeah, you can have whatever you want there, really. Okay, so moving down to the pads down here, we got a different set of drums for the performance track. This is just what I like. I like having that tom there, and being able to affect the pitch like that. And then the rest of them are punch-in effects. We don't have any tape track shenanigans on this one, but yeah, punch-in effects. And then we still have pattern back and pattern forward. Use at your own risk. So yeah, that's my setup for the OPZ for the Novation Launch Control XL. It works pretty well for me. I've spent the past week or so kind of dialing this into where I want it, and I'm pretty happy with it. I wish I had more user template slots to work with, because I would absolutely love to make a whole thing dedicated to like the master tape and performance tracks on here. I think that'd be super cool, but alas, we cannot program the factory templates. Those are made by Novation. So again, if you guys would like to download these templates, they are available for free. Just click the link down in the description and enjoy. Give me some feedback. Let me know if you change anything. And like I said, share them with me and I'll try them out as well. It's super easy to swap them with the software on Mac or PC. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, go ahead and leave a like on the video. If not, you can click that dislike button. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings. Just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here, for watching all the videos. It means a lot. I sure appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye.